Okay, great. All right, hi everyone again. And so for our icebreaker today, I would like us to type in the chat box our name and where we are joining from, and then share experience. Yes, some could be Atose. I agree with you. Some could be Atose actually. So share as well how has it been so far if you've resumed school already? If you've resumed school for this year, how has it been so far? What are you looking forward to? I think instead of sharing in the chat box, we can unmute ourselves because we are not much on the call, and just do a quick sharing, just in like 30 seconds, your name, where you're joining from, what you're looking forward to in this school year. Mr. Henry, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Who wants to unmute and share?
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Morov.
Okay, thank you. I'm joining you from Ilorin.
Oh, amazing.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking up to make this particular course a kind of plus to my knowledge.
Great.
And to reflect it in my academic and my own career pursuits.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Welcome, sir, from Ilorin. Good to have you. Yeah.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
All right. Who else wants to go ahead to share?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Falashade Adebawo. I'm actually joining from Ikorodu, Lagos.
Great.
Well, it has been a wonderful section, and I believe as an educator, we have to keep the learning and learning again to get better.
Yes.
So for my own this year, I want to learn more, get better, and improve on my skills again.
Great. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you very much for sharing. That's helpful to know. Who else wants to share? Oluwatobi Babatunde from Lagos. Welcome. We're happy to have you again. Who else wants to share? Okay. Looks like sorry, I got an email now about someone who wants to join the call, but they're not able to join. Issue with the meeting ID. There's no issue with it. It's the people on the call. All right, good. So I think we should just start and start the session. Please, I'll advise everyone, kindly mute yourself. Mr. Moruf, I think you're unmuted. Please mute yourself so that we can have like a very good experience altogether. All right, we're getting into it. Teaching digital natives. This is such an interesting topic. I actually led this session at some point. With Mr. Morrow, please, can you mute yourself? Yeah. All right, good. So I led the session with the newly employed teachers of Lagos State Government. I think 3 months ago, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was really an interesting session. And what we are going to be doing really in this session is to look at the core truths of digital natives. Who are digital natives? And what are the core truths around teaching digital natives? So I'll be talking more in this session. We'll be sharing as well in this session, have opportunities to share. But of course, our time together today is to really achieve these 4 core objectives. And one is the fact that we are going to be leveraging on the natural connection between students and technology. And that's totally the concept of digital natives. We're also going to be inspiring learner engagement and deep learning through technology. How can we do that? How can we inspire learner engagement? How can we encourage deep learning using technology? We are going to be identifying practical ways to integrate technology in spite of limitations and challenges in our various schools. Now, this is not for public schools yet. If you're teaching in public schools, totally fine. But if you're teaching in an under-resourced environment, how are we going to integrate technology in spite of the limitations and challenges? And really, I do not have answers, but of course, I believe that this session will inspire something within you. Then explore some tech tools and apps that make learning fun and impactful. If we have the time, we're going to do that. And if we don't have, I'm just going to list out some of these tools that you can make use of. So I hope you're ready to get into this proper. Putting my eye on. All right, good. All right, then. So let's go ahead. There's this big quote I have, like most of you who have attended some of the training programs that I have facilitated before, you would know that I used to talk about the fact that, quotes are very, very powerful. When you read quotes, it inspires some things within you. Quotes really helps you to, just have a deep reflection, right? And so I have this powerful quote here. Just a minute. I have this powerful quote here that says, if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. This is a very powerful quote, and I'm going to read it again so that it sinks in. If a child can't learn the way we teach, then maybe we should teach the way they learn. So what this quote is telling us is that there's a way a child learns, and there's a way a teacher teaches. And before you can ensure, or before you can say with so much confidence that learning has happened in a classroom, then as an educator yourself, you must have aligned the way you teach and the way the child in your class learns. Now, the interesting part of this is the fact that children will always be different, right? So the way child A learns is different from the way child B learns. So if you have a class of 25 kids, what it means is that you have 25 children with different learning styles. So it's your job as an educator to align your own teaching style to fit with the 25 learning styles. That's really interesting, right? Very interesting, trust me. I think it is very, very, very interesting. So today, we're going to be thinking about one of the ways that kids of nowadays learn, which brings us to the concept of digital natives. By the way, this quote is by Ignacio Estrada. Let's go ahead. Now, digital natives, who are digital natives? What are digital natives? Who can we categorize as digital natives in the first place? When we say digital natives, who are the people we refer to as digital natives, right? Looking at these guys on the screen right now, what is coming to you? I mean, what are you thinking of right now? Just taking a look at the images on the screen, just taking a look at these images on the screen, what is coming to mind? Now, I would say, we have 3 young girls and a young guy. These are the people we refer to as digital natives. These are the guys that are in your classroom. The first image on my own left here has a young lady taking a picture of herself, and then you have 5 other cameras pointing at her, taking a picture of her. Remember what they used to call, last year or 2 years ago, there was this national protest by young people, and then they called themselves the Sorosuke generation. And then there's another term that was popular at that time. They said the selfie generation, right? Young people nowadays are digital savvy. You can look at other images there. There's another lady there who's writing on a notepad and have a phone on her ear at the same time. We don't know what she's doing. She might be doing an assignment, but she's on the phone at the same time. 50 years ago, things like this weren't happening. It wasn't. Look at the young guy on the far of my right corner. I don't know what angle it is for you, but the young guy is on his mobile phone. And you never can tell what this young guy is doing on his mobile phone. And that's the truth. That's the interesting truth, right? You never can tell what he is doing. Because as, even if you have different options, you can guess that, he's playing a game. You can guess that, is just looking at the mobile phone. You can guess that, probably is trying to send someone a message. But you can also say that, the young guy is learning. He's actually in class with that mobile phone on his hand. So these are the people they call the digital natives. The young people you have in your classroom right now are digital natives. And we are going to quickly look at why they are being referred to as digital natives, right? So why do we call these people digital natives? Let's go ahead. Who are digital natives? Digital natives represent the first generation to grow up with this new technology that we all have now. They are used to all kinds of digital toys and tools, which are an integral part of their life. Digital activity is like a mother tongue to them. You know, there was, a time, there's this joke that used to go along. So this joke actually has, when people mention that, like there's this name, Ajoke Shomefun, it's a Yoruba name. And then they say, they ask a young child or young boy to pronounce that name. And the child pronounced it a joke, some fun. I'm going to type that name into the chat box for people who don't understand Yoruba. I just typed it in the chat box. Oh, okay, sorry, I have a message here already. Let me put it back there. So, so they gave this young boy to read this name or pronounce this name, and he said, a joke, some fun. Whereas this name actually means, or is pronounced Ajoke Shomefun. And that's a Yoruba language, right? So what it means is the fact that young people right now are seeing English as their first language. And so when they get a local language or a local word, they try to pronounce it with English instead of pronouncing it in a local language. Now, so the way that is also the way digital natives are. So when you give your student assignments in the classroom, they are not first thinking of how they can rack their brain to solve the challenge. What they are thinking of at first is how they can use technology to search for the answer. So this can be very interesting. It can be very inspiring. It can be very great. It can also be very challenging. So as an educator, because of the kind of children that you work with right now, you need to learn best how to do what? How to work with digital natives. So digital natives represent the first generation to grow up with this new technology that we all have right now. They are used to all kinds of digital toys and tools, which are an integral part of their life. And digital activity is like a mother tongue to them. Now, let us look at this very interesting graphics art on my screen. This is a conversation between an elderly woman and a child, a young girl. And then, I think this woman gave this girl a card in her hand and said, this is a library card. Now, if they give you a library card, you know what that means. That means you can go into the library to go and access the catalog of books in that library. I don't know about the school you went to, but the university I went to, our library is a very mighty structure. It's on like 3 to 4, stories of buildings. And then on each floor, there are catalog of books, like there are books everywhere, loads of books, right? And for me, I used to wonder how they were able to bring in those number of books. But yeah, that's a story for another time. But yeah, this woman is giving this young girl a library card so she can go into that kind of building to go and access thousands of books. But hear the response of the little girl. She says, I have an even smaller wireless device that gives me access to thousands of books, and not just books, but movies as well. Is that not interesting? The woman is giving her a library card, and she's handing a wireless device that says, Madam, you're giving me access to a big building that I'll need to climb stairs to get to all the books inside. But I have a device on my hand right now where all those books you have in that building is currently sitting on. And I just don't read books alone. I can watch movies there. I can play games. This is really interesting, but this is the world we live in right now. And you know what? The big challenge that most educators have right now is the fact that they do not even know what the concept of digital natives is or are, whichever is correct. And because they don't know what that concept is, they're not even able to work with kids in that category, kids that we refer to as digital natives. They're not able. And that's why there are a lot of friction between teaching and learning, because the styles are not aligning. Remember the first quote we went through. If a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. So most of the mismatch we have in teaching and learning is really because of the friction between digital natives and our analog teachers or hybrid teachers, teachers who were born between the analog and digital generation. So you don't even know where you fall into. We don't know where we fall into, right? But of course, it's really interesting for us to see who digital natives are. But I'm going to pause here and ask if there are thoughts, if anybody has anything to share about what we've learned so far or what we've gone through so far. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if there's any thoughts. I just need to be sure that people are listening to me. Okay, Gloria, you want to share?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kayode, for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
I have been learning on your site in fact, I was late for this class. I was on curriculum planning and design, and I was listening to Grace a while ago.
Oh, okay. On our platform, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. I've been learning a lot. What I just want to add is, although I didn't start from the beginning, but I'm really trying to catch up, is that I'm more of an LES teacher.
Yeah.
So, but I came to realize that many teachers, I don't know of where you are. It looks like where you are in Lagos, you people are digitally aware. The awareness is still far. I also work with quite a number of teachers, and I'm still trying to make them understand that digital learning, digitization has come to stay. So my plea is that we should do more with creating awareness at all levels, because for some teachers or educators, it is still like it's very far. This thing you people are talking about it has not gotten here yet. But the earlier we accept it and begin to implement it, because for some they might have gone for training, but another challenge schools face is implementation. So if we can even do more with implementing it in the classroom, because another truth is many teachers don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
They might have these devices. I know schools that have bought projector, they have done series of trainings, but the teachers still go back to the old school. So we need more of awareness, and we need to encourage teachers and to tell them this is the reality.
Thank you very much. Thank you. May I ask what's your location, please? Or where's your location? Abuja. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's why we're having this session. It's sort of an advocacy session as well. So Ms. Folashade, I'm going to come back to you maybe another time because of time. So let's just quickly move ahead. But thank you so much, Ms. Gloria, for sharing. Let's go ahead, and then we can come back to the sharing part. I'm going to be sharing my screen. At least that thought is making me know that, of course, we're going through the session with me. All right, good. So let us go around some of the the truths around digital natives. Let's continue on that. So I have something written here. The new generation faces the fact that school is no longer the only place to acquire knowledge. We can see from these graphics here, right? School is not the only place to acquire knowledge. And trust me, even if we think that, oh, digital revolution has not gotten to our place the more, the truth is young people are knowing this is. You'll be surprised when you have conversation with your student and you realize how much they know about the digital world. And that's the truth. The apps that you are signed on to, the email addresses that they have, you will be amazed. Now, in a knowledge society, knowledge has become an economical good that one can buy, sell, store, and exchange. So as a result of this, because knowledge is becoming an economical good that you can buy, sell, store, and exchange, aided by technology, it simply, let us know, indicates the fact that education as well is moving online on technology. Because right now with technology, you can store knowledge, you can exchange knowledge. Unlike in those days when you go to the classroom and sit down in lecture halls, you can only listen to your lecturer teach once about a topic. And if you don't write down what he's saying at that point in time, you've missed that thing forever. Because there's no other opportunity for you to meet with that lecturer again. But now with the advent of technology, this session currently is being recorded. And you can listen to this session for as long as the recording, you still have access to the recording. So knowledge is becoming an economical good that can be bought, can be sold, can be stored, can be exchanged. And as a result of that, education is being impacted by that. And teachers need to know about that. Teachers need to know that you don't only have to teach once or teach a particular topic every time. You can teach, record it once, and keep offering your recording to your learners. That's a digital activity. Now, today's knowledge changes constantly and does so at a very high speed. Students then cannot store knowledge and competencies for the rest of their life. The digital native has to be a lifelong learner. And that's why you see that content is being churned out every day on social media, on learning platforms, everywhere. Because things are evolving faster with technology. And because things are evolving faster with technology, your kids, the students you work with are digital natives who will become a lifelong learner. And that's why they learn new things every day through social media, through everything that they're being part of. So these are like some of the truths of, about digital natives or the concept of digital native. Another truth here is the fact that the teacher no longer has the monopoly of knowledge delivery. So as a teacher, if you're a teacher here, you are not a monopolist in knowledge delivery. Let me break it down for you. Your student is not learning from you only, right? You might think you're the basic 4 teacher, so everything about basic 4, you'll be the one to deliver it to your learners. But the truth is, that's not the case. So you no longer have the monopoly of knowledge delivery. Why? Because internet provides access to a huge amount of information. I'm going to go ahead. Next one says, digital natives have a different way of concentrating and being attentive. They generally cannot concentrate for a long time, and they go from one task to another in a very short time. Now, this is another point of friction between teachers and learners. You have some teachers who sit down in class or who stand in class and teach for an entire 40 minutes without giving out tasks, without trying to be very dynamic in the way lesson is being delivered. And there'll be a mismatch there because the concept of digital natives says that the students that we work with right now, they have a different way of concentrating and being attentive. They cannot concentrate for a long time. It is not possible. They will get cut off. So as a digital teacher or as a digital educator, your job really is how to navigate the lesson time or lesson period in a way that your students are not bored and in a way that your students are moving from activity to activity. And the activity is meaningful to the point that they are still learning, right, while they are going on that activity. Now, they prefer learning through visual and graphics rather than reading text. They are used to learning through interactivity and games. They have to be permanently connected since knowledge is aided by connectivity. So as a teacher, how are you bringing in games into your classroom? How are you bringing interactivity into your classrooms? How are you ensuring that learning is happening, but in a connected manner and not in an individual activity mode? So these are some truths about digital natives. And I'd like you to just keep thinking about this and reflecting on your own practice in the classroom as a teacher, what you're doing currently as a teacher, right? And how you are improving learning outcome for your students, leveraging on the type of learner that they are, digital natives. Now, we cannot just apply the education of yesterday to the pupils of tomorrow. Like I shared in the last masterclass, you can't keep teaching students of today the way you were taught yesterday, because if you do that, you are robbing them of their tomorrow. So students have changed radically, and accordingly, we must find new ways to teach that are appropriate for the new generation. Teaching and learning in a digital society does not mean technologizing education. Now, this is where I wanted to get to before, I'm able to react to what Ms. Gloria shared. It does not really mean technologizing education, right? It does not mean that, you have to have a projector in the classroom, you need to have 20 computers in the classroom, you need to have a high-speed internet. That is not really the essence of, teaching and learning in a digital society. Because the human relationship between student and teacher is an essential component of the learning. But what we are trying to say is that fact that this relationship between teachers and students need to take new forms in a digital society. So it's not really the presence of computers that make you teach in a digital society or learn in a digital society. But it's really around how you evolve in your thinking of how you connect with your students. So there are new forms of teaching and learning. There's synchronous teaching and learning. There are asynchronous teaching and learning. There's face-to-face, there's at a distance, there's distance education, blended learning, e-learning, different kind of models of learning. So as a teacher who is teaching in a digital society, you're thinking around how can you leverage the existing technology that you have in your current situation right now to pass on learning to students. You're not really thinking of how can we bring projectors into the classroom. Oh, we don't have computers. No, you're thinking of what do we have right now that I can use to impact the relationship I have with these students. Because these students ordinarily, by their being and by the kind of moments that they are being given birth to, from birth, they are already digital natives. How many of you have that younger brother or sister at home that everybody will always go to with their mobile phones that has issues? Or there's one particular thing you want to fix on your phone, but you just call one young boy and say, this is a young boy that used to help me fix it. It's not because that young boy has learned somewhere or went to school to learn how to fix that phone, but it's just because by nature of the fact that that young boy is a digital native from birth, that nature has helped that child be able to understand technology better than you as an adult. So you are looking at, okay, we have WhatsApp already in the classroom. How can we make use of just WhatsApp to connect with students? You can say, okay, guys, when you get home on the weekend, check your mom's WhatsApp phone. There's an assignment there for you. It will cost you nothing to give them the assignment in class. But because you're looking for different forms to make sure that there's a connection between you and your students, you are leveraging on what they are naturally acclimatized to, which is technology. And you're using the technology that is currently available in your class and not trying to look for one big technology somewhere. So it's really around how you can use what is readily available right now in your classroom to affect the relationship that you have with your students. Now we are going to look at this. I like cartoons a lot. So there's another image here that says, this is a father and a daughter, the one on the left part on my screen. It says, hi, sweetie, how was your day? Or how was school today? And then the young girl is saying, you can read all about it on my blog, Dad. That's the reality now. And trust me, Nigeria is getting into that reality. Some students are like this already. And before you know it, in the next few years, this is how every child will be. So the father is asking the daughter, how was school today? But this daughter is saying, sir, you can read about it on my blog. That's a digital native, right? The way that which, she just can't sit down and start talking about, no, she's telling her dad to go to the blog and go and read it. Those are digital natives. Now, the other one on the right says, you're asking, this child just went to school for the first day, and then she's giving reports to her mom, and she says, Mom, how do you think my first day of kindergarten went? They didn't even have Wi-Fi. That's a kindergarten boy or girl. So can you see how the world is evolving? And this is already happening. So this girl went to school, or this boy went to school, but she's not even thinking about whether the teacher taught well or whether the students in her class, whether she likes them. What she was concerned about the fact that there's no Wi-Fi in that school. So how can educators that we are leverage on this new reality to ensure that learning still happens in our classrooms, even with the way these children are right now, with the way these students are right now. So I'm going to pause here again and then get thoughts from everyone. So if you would like to share, kindly raise up your hand and then I'll call on you. Your reflection on what we've seen so far, what we've learned so far. All right, Ms. Folashade, you can go very quickly so that we can have other people share as well. Can you hear me, Ms. Folashade? You can go.
I can hear you. Wow, this is it's an interesting topic we have here. And I think you have actually covered everything I want to say, but just a few things. I'm actually doing a program with facilitator for Lagos Teachers Fellowship owned by Senator Abiru. And one of the things we actually teach these teachers is technology tools for them to use as teaching aids for their students. But with my real, during this summertime, I was actually in some schools to teach. Then I noticed that even when you write the topic to the front, they're always looking out for my own section, because I always tell teachers that a teacher asks me, Adeba, we noticed that your students always get motivated. I said yes, because I'm able to understand the language these students actually understand. Until we get the concept of what these children actually know, we'll start teaching abstract. For example, most teachers are not even like, they're not aware of what the student actually wants. We still go to the classroom, we just write the notes on the board, blah, blah, blah. We're not concerned, have I been able to cover what the student actually understand?
Yeah.
Because sometimes even when you actually relate to this, they will tell you what they really want, that you can actually make your own teaching to improve. And I always tell everybody that you need to get engaged with your students. Don't tell yourself because you are the leader in this place. You can actually learn from them.
Yeah.
And the way we actually are going, even kids of 2 years old now, if you try to hide some things on your phone from them, they'll get your password, they'll get your coding, they'll get everything. It's just the truth. Like my kids now, I have a laptop. I actually put the password. They actually created a short for me to use, for them to use it. So this way we're actually going nice, that we have to bring ourselves like, okay, we don't have to say, okay, I don't want to learn anything. You have to understand the concept. What way can I actually use to teach my kids or my students? You have to learn it from them. Because we have actually said, okay, this is not what we actually taught. Nothing is going to be done. And this is actually getting exposed this way. The opportunities we can actually learn from them, they will teach us. So until we learn as a teacher, we're able to understand that this is what can actually improve my own teaching to make it more effective. I always say that teaching is very, very, very interesting. But most of us prefer all these his methods, write 3 pages, 4 pages. But this is actually on the digital something that we can actually, okay, you have your Google Meet, let's discuss. The children will actually be happy. You don't need to stress yourself over anything. But we don't want to develop ourselves. It's a mindset. Everything we were actually saying is mindset. Once you don't have the mindset to if you don't have the mindset to learn, that is just the truth.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you very much for sharing. One key thing that you said is, the mindset, very, very important. If the mindset is not there, then we can definitely achieve all of this. Mr. Henry, very quickly, sir.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I must commend you guys. You are doing a great job. I'm a beneficiary of your masterclass. Okay. And I'm very not familiar with what you are talking about. I'm a digital person, and
Amazing.
I use it a lot. Okay, it makes my lesson interesting and fun, and the children are always looking up to having a class lesson with Mr. Henry, because Mr. Henry has different ways of delivering lessons. So it's a good thing. I just want to appeal to teachers who are yet to key into this, because that is just the in thing right now. Whether we like it or not, the world is going digital and we have to follow suit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That's very helpful. Thank you very much for sharing your own testimony and how, what you shared right now is just what I was talking about, right? So Mr. Henry is a digital savvy teacher. And so students love to be in his classroom because he's a digital savvy teacher, and not because he has those digital skills really, but because he's able to connect with them in the way that they want to learn. So that's what, Mr. Henry is saying, like, that's appealing to everybody, because students will draw near to, they used to say birds of the same feather flock together. You can't connect meaningfully with your students if you don't know who they are and if you can't relate with them on their level. So thank you so much, Mr. Henry, for sharing. I'm just going to go ahead now and share my screen, then we can go on with the session. All right, good. So this is where we are at now, very quickly. How does technology help us teach digital natives? Apparently, technology is what can help us teach digital natives, right? But of course, the mindset is very important. Without the mindset, we can't reach them. How can technology help us teach these digital natives who are on their mobile phones, smartphones, computers every now and then, or who are thinking of computers and dreaming of computers even if they don't have them yet? Technology is a powerful tool that has changed how teachers teach and how students learn. It has provided people with access to education and access to different ways of communicating and working together. I'm sure you will all agree with this, right? I'm sure you will all agree with this. So technology has changed a lot of things. Teachers do not learn the same way they used to, or teach the same way they used to teach before because of technology, and students do not learn the way they used to learn anymore because of technology, right? And it has even changed how we work together as professional colleagues as well. Now, what are the benefits of technology to teachers? One, it allows teachers to be more flexible. Teachers can use different teaching methods and tools to suit their lessons or students. Because, technology you can go 1001 ways with technology. So it allows you as an educator to be very flexible. So if you're an educator here and you're not yet thinking of technology, or you're thinking of it, but you've not made a move to start learning about tech tools and using tech tools, even if your students don't have access to that technology, but you as an individual being pushed to start learning about tech tools, then you're shooting yourself in the leg. Because these are some of the benefits of technology to you as a teacher. It allows you to be more flexible. It helps you connect more with your students. So teachers are able to better communicate with their students and support them in their learning with technology, right? It also allows access to more resources. There are different times when you're writing lesson plan and you're like, what do I need to write again as a starter? What do I need to write again to be able to engage the student during this lesson? How do I assess them? With technology, you can find additional and updated learning resources that can help you with your own work as an educator. So technology is very, very beneficial to you as a teacher, as an educator. It is very, very beneficial to you. And you need to always be in tune with tech as a teacher. I mean, it's not something that we are supposed to be pleading with people to be a part of. It's a given. It's just something that has to come naturally. In fact, when you look at teachers' job descriptions right now, they will put the ability to use technology effectively and ability to learn new technology very fast, because that's what schools are looking for. Now, this is another benefit here. It allows for a more personalized learning experience. So students have more freedom to choose the methods and tools that help them learn best, using technology. It improves students' communication skills, right? Those are benefits on the part of the students. So students have access to different channels where they can communicate and collaborate with teachers and fellow students. So for example, if you're chatting with your student on WhatsApp, right? That's a communication skill they are learning. For example, if you tell your students that for them to submit this submit this assignment over the weekend, you give them an email address, send your assignments to this email address. You don't know what you're teaching that child already. We have adults who can't compose emails. And that's the truth. Adults who can't compose emails, they can't write emails, simple emails to send to people. So if you expose the students to this kind of technology at this point in time, what you're doing is you're training them, because it's part of communication skills. They work in an environment where they will have to send emails to and fro. When 90% of their communications is through email or through Slack, they have chats with their professional colleagues. And how do you help them build that skill from now? There's no way than to expose them with technology or to expose them to technology. Trying to look at the chat box, there's a point here. Okay. Okay, so it's the introduction. Now, it also helps students prepare for the future. Like I'm saying, students become equipped to face a highly technological future, and they'll be able to easily adapt. Right now, what we are seeing is a buzz of tech companies around, a lot of tech organizations springing up here and there. And so the question is, how are we preparing our students right now to be able to fit into the future that is driven by technology solely? So you need to expose them right now from your classroom so that they are ready to work in the future that is driven by technology. So we'll not have time to do this Menti activity. We just go ahead. But I have a video I want to play for us all. And then we can just have a short reflection over this video. And it's just an example of when I was still teaching some years back, how I was able to use technology in my classroom to connect, the students in my classroom then in Ogun State, one local community, to students in the US. And I'm just going to quickly play that video so that we all see it and see that even in this in under-resourced environment, you are able to still use technology. Let me play the video. Please confirm if you can hear the sound. I don't think you can hear that sound. So let me just reshare. Yeah, I'm going to share the sound now. So I would like you to confirm if you can hear the sound now.
Growing up, I never wanted to be a teacher. I didn't know any teachers, neither did my family. I wanted to be a business person, so I went to school, studied business. And one day when I was sitting in my cubicle studying figures, I just sat there and said, I can't do this for the next 20 years. So I called up my husband and I said, do you mind if I become a teacher? And he said, go for it. One of the best decisions I ever made.
After my university education, I studied accounting, and then I got posted to Ibadan, Nigeria, southwestern Nigeria, and I was posted there to teach. So on this service year, I was opportune to meet with kids from low-income backgrounds, and then I saw what was going on in the education sector. I saw about 10 to 20 children sharing one book to read, and then I concluded in my mind that, quality education can never take place in this kind of situation. And so if there's supposed to be a change, then I have a role to play. I need to roll up my sleeves and get involved. Apart from the parenting activities at home and the parenting teachings at home, the teachers have a great role to play in shaping tomorrow's leaders. And that is why teachers are very, very important when it comes to teaching empathy in the classroom, when it comes to sparking curiosity and kindness. So apart from the curriculum learning, teachers are responsible for creating a total child. I mean, a child who is locally rooted and globally informed.
So Empatico, I heard about last year. I've always been a very big proponent of social emotional learning. I consider it even more important than academic learning. Oluwaseun and I texted each other like, hi, how are you? We're partners, we're going to plan to interact, and we're both excited. I was very excited.
I and Mrs. Wendy, we started engaging in offline exchanges. We record videos, we send over to her. She records videos and she sent over to me. My kids watch it and we are so excited about it. So
our very first video was me and my class saying hello. We can't wait to meet you. We're so excited, and here are some questions about your school. And it was the kids saying things like, do you take a bus to school? What do you eat for lunch? How many classrooms do you have? Do you have any pets? Just very honest, open kid questions. I love the genuine curiosity about it.
My kids were so excited about that. So, then in January this year, we got internet connectivity down here in our classroom, and we were able to do a live exchange. The whole school was lit up that day because, our classes were so full. We had other people, other teachers coming from other classes, other pupils coming from other classes, even from other schools, neighboring schools, to see what was happening. It's just so amazing. We even taught ourselves dance steps. We enjoyed ourselves all through. So the first interaction was amazing. And I think it increased the confidence level of my kids.
So to do an Empatico exchange, you have to go through a process that is 3 stages. So the first thing you'll do is prepare in your classroom, and that takes 30 to 45 minutes. You're going to have a discussion about a particular topic or engage in the lesson of the Empatico activity that you choose. And we do that just like we do anything else in this classroom. We use the same formats and functions, the same groupings, the same discussion techniques. So it's just really easy to do that.
And then during the interaction process, which is the exchange itself, then we interact, we share knowledge, we speak to them, they speak to us, and then we learn a whole lot.
That takes 30 to 45 minutes because that's about how long elementary school kids can sit. And then I think it's really important to debrief at the end and have the reflection, because you want to see what your students are taking away from it.
I felt happy because I could meet them.
Then there's a particular girl in my classroom, her name is Ajoke. After our first live exchange, she came to meet me and she told me, Mr. K, I want to learn how to speak English very well. Every day, Ajoke will always come up to meet me. She has been so consistent with studying, and I can see the improvement over time in her English speaking ability. So I think this is one good thing that Empatico has been able to do.
So I've seen so much growth in one of my students, Ian. He is a boy who I've seen come to exhibit more and more empathy as the year has gone on, and I'm so proud of him. He's clearly entertaining others' perspectives, and he's clearly working to have more kindness in his vocabulary, in his actions, and his words. We just did an exchange recently, and he stood right up to the projector with his arms around two classmates, talking to the kids in Nigeria, saying, "Great job practicing those dance moves, you're really getting it, I'm really proud of you." I just think that's a beautiful evolution to watch.
Okay, that's great.
So if you think about the skills, the core life skills of listening, critical thinking, responding, and having a discussion with another human being, Empatico develops all of those things, which will enhance your math discussions, which will help kids analyze what's happening in a science activity, which will help children talk about characters in a storybook. So all of these skills that you're building, these life skills, these social emotional skills, that's only going to enhance every other thing you're doing in the classroom. In developing a relationship with Oluwasheen, we've learned about each other. What's your story? Who do you teach? What are you about? And through social media, we've gotten a glimpse into each other's lives. And we have so much in common. I'd like to say that our teacher heart is very similar. And I truly think of him as a friend, and he's an inspiration to me.
Our relationship has gone beyond just partner classroom teachers to real friendship, and I'm so excited about that.
I think that we have a genuine respect for each other based on our commonalities. And of course, we both believe in the power of Empatico, and we're both trying to create change in our respective educational spaces and in the world.
All right, good. So I'm going to stop sharing that. So that was like some years back. That was me in the classroom using some technology to kind of teach my students core skills, social skills like socio-emotional learning, creativity. I don't need to sit them down in the class and be doing lecture and trying to lecture them on what communication is, or on what these socio-emotional skills are, like curiosity or kindness or empathy. No, I gave them the experience using technology. And if you look at that video very well, there's an evolution. I first started using my small mobile phone. And then before we were able to get internet access, then before a computer, and then that's how we grew. But it didn't stop me. And that's why, there's something that, I think Ms. Folashade mentioned that time, mindset. Thoughts that anybody would like to share following that video. So if there's any thoughts, you can raise your hand and I'll call on you. All right, okay, Edwina, please go ahead to share.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say that I was thoroughly swept away by the whole thing. It's totally amazing, and I wish we could really, I'm going to try it out, even within our local schools, school to school within Nigeria, even school to, Nigeria abroad was an amazing thing you did in your youth core year. It's fantastic. Oh, yes. It's really given me ideas. And this is it. The children will never forget what they've learned at all. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for giving me that. Thank you. I've learned so much just in this few minutes. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for sharing. And I agree with you that those kids will never forget. Very quickly, yes, very quickly, Oluwatobi, you can go ahead to share.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
What I learned there is that there's no limitation to it. You know, to start with, you started with a phone. You know, everyone would have said, I need a laptop, I must have a TV that will show, I must have this, I must have that. So most, like now, if we check or we carry out a survey, for some teachers that already have the idea of digitalization, they will come up with excuses like, I don't have the laptop, I'm only having my phone, I'm only having that. So I see that it's not a way of, the excuse is no more right now. There's no more excuse right now because you can always start with what you have. So that's what I want to share, like starting with what you have. It can always be made possible.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for sharing. All right, good. So let's just quickly wrap up the session with the few slides that we have left. So let me just quickly share my screen. Okay. All right, so sorry, I need to move. Okay, good. So this is the statistics I love sharing whenever I talk about technology, to let people know about the possibility of technology and how technology, you know, there's something around, people usually say, oh, technology is still far away, it's not here yet. But the truth is, it is here, but maybe because we are not seeing it yet, we are not, or we're looking at, there are some other things we're looking out to say that, okay, yes, technology is here. Now, let us look at the statistics. 4.93 billion people use the internet worldwide. That's 63.2% of the global population. Now, North America, out of this 4.93 people that makes up 63.2% of global population, as you know, 7.2% of this 4.93 billion people are living in North America. That's North America. Let's go ahead. For Latin America, it's still the Americas. 9.5% of this number use the internet. For Australia, 0.6% of this 4.93 billion people use the internet. In the Middle East, 3.7% of 4.93 billion people, that's 185 million, use the internet. In Europe, 14.8% use the internet. That's around 728 million people. In Asia, of course, we know Asia is where technology is like their life there. You have 51.8% of the internet users in Asia alone. That's around 2.6 billion people, and they have the population as well. Now, in Africa, we have 12.8% of this 4.93 billion people in Africa. That's around 632 million people using the internet in Africa. And there's a projection that says that in the next 10 years, Africa will beat Europe. So, you know, in terms of number of people using the internet, because we are fast rising. If you look at it 5 years ago, we're not even anywhere near 12.8%. But there's a rapid revolution of technology happening in Africa. And Africa, and when you say Africa, definitely you're talking about Nigeria. There's a rapid adoption of technology. You know, I used to say something like, you go to markets where you have market women, you know, market women who earn every day, they don't earn really much. And then you see Globalcom's big signboard or big billboard there, advertising data. That's to let you know that Globalcom has customers there. If there are no customers there, they won't advertise to them. It's not wise for them to throw money there in the market. It's not wise to advertise to laborers who are earning daily wages on construction sites. That's to let you know that even the common man on the street, through the advent of cheap smartphones, they're having access to internet-enabled device. And it's growing rapidly. Even children are now having their own digital devices. So sooner or later, you start seeing these things manifest in closer to you if you're not seeing it yet. For me, I've started seeing it already. So there's a rapid adoption of technology, and we need to keep that in mind. To let you know that as an educator, you need to also rapidly adopt or accept or embrace the concept of digital natives and start preparing yourself. If you've not started having those kind of kids in your classroom right now, start preparing yourself to deliver that learning or even expose those kids to the digital world. Now, the best technology, I used to, quickly share this practical tips of using technology. The best technology is the one you already have, the one you know how to use right now, and the one you can afford. It's not the one that you don't know, the one you can't afford. the best technology for you right now is the one that you already have. You can join Zoom call. That's a technology. That means it's something you know how to use and you can afford. That's the best technology right now that you can use. Low tech is also tech. So it doesn't have to be high tech. It doesn't have to be drones flying in the classroom. Low technology is also technology. It's the content, not the container. So it's not about the devices you use. It's about what you're doing with those devices. Now, ensure that learners' engagement is your priority when making a choice on tech tool to use. So learners' engagement has to be the key priority. Put sustainability first in terms of how you access, create, and distribute learning content. What you do today that you can't keep on doing, don't try. So always ensure that whatever initiative you're implementing is something you can sustain over time. You belong to tech-savvy educators communities to be a part of. Belong to tech-savvy educators community, because in this community, you hear about new tech tips that people can use. Very soon, we'll soon start preparing newsletters of tech tools where we'll show you tech tools, how to use tech tools, and then we'll be sharing to you via your emails and you'll be seeing it free of charge. So belong to tech-savvy educators communities that you can be a part of. Always gather student feedback on your use of technology in the classroom. Don't be afraid to explore safe technology tools. Don't be afraid. I will repeat this. Don't be afraid. A lot of people are afraid of technology. Don't be afraid to use technology, especially the safe technology tools. Last point, don't rely on technology. Because as beautiful as technology is, it is human beings that drive them. So don't rely on technology. So these are some of the free tech tools that you can start using from today. You have Google Classroom, you have Edmodo, you have Kaitabo, you have Quizzes, you have Kahoot, you have Canva, you have Nigenius, you have Schoolinka. And this link here that I have below here will take you to 321 free tech tools that you can make use of. Don't worry, we are going to share the link to you via email. So you're going to have access to that link. 321 free technology tools that you can start using as an educator. And this brings me to the end of the session. Here is where we get to take questions or comments or suggestions, and then we wrap up. All right. Yes, I'm so impressed too, Ms. Edwina. I'm impressed with Africa's percentage and speedy rise. There's a speedy rise, trust me. Ms. Gloria, of course, even if it looks like we're scratching the surface, we've done a lot, and a lot is going to happen. Guys, 5G is happening in Lagos very soon. They've started doing pre-ordering. People are pre-ordering for 5G. And trust me, 5G will place education on a different level entirely. The level will be like, I don't want to use the word crazy, but it's going to be, 5G is going to impact education a whole lot. So that's another good thing about technology that's going to happen soon. Thank you so much, Ms. Oluwatobi. Any comments, thoughts, questions? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, I will say thank you so much for the session. As long as we are teachers, we are actually lifelong learners. If you want to be in the academic space, you have to keep learning. So this is really the link to the school. And I'm glad I'm a part of this movement. There's actually a revolution taking place in the teaching space. So I encourage you guys to keep it up, and we look forward to learning more from you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kyle.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you very much for that feedback as well. All right.
Hello,
good.
Mr. Kayode.
So, okay.
Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Kayode.
Yes, we can. We can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Well done for this class and for everything that you have been doing in the time past. Well done. May God continue to strengthen you, and may God continue to touch your lives too in area that you need this touch. You have actually, not only the kids, you have impacted the adults too. I could remember then when I started with you, maybe roughly 2-3 years, though I'm not be consistent after that because of my busy work and activity. But I could remember that, was it during Corona some errand or something.
Yes,
that the first
COVID-19,
exposure
yes.
that I have to teaching online, making use of the necessary tools, at least the one that I know now, you were the one that exposed me to it. I can remember when you bring, I've forgotten the name of that guy, and some other people to come and take us how to use Zoom, how to do Screencastify, and Google Classroom, Edmodo, and you always take time to give us a project, even though many of us, we have to go here and there before the project can be done. But at least we do the project, and it has really touched our life. So where am I going to? Those teaching, those learning, I kept it at the corner. Sorry, I kept it at the corner of my head, because the school that I worked in, though I will not say we are 100% on a technology of a thing, though we are trying, we are making progress. Then the class that I do take, we are not actually using much of that. So I don't have the whole time to be practicalizing, to be consistent on it, so that it will become much more of me, and then I will even be able to do so many things. But actually, I kept it at the back of my mind. So recently, one parent that relocated to outside Nigeria just came, actually contacted me that, can I be taking a child online lesson? I was like, yes, I can do it. Then I now went to my archive to go and check on those things. Thank God that they were recorded. I tried to check on those classes that we had then on Zoom, on Screencastify, this and this. Say, wow, I can still make use of this. So that is how I started on Zoom, and I was using Canva. Sorry, I was using Canva. I started with Canva. Then one of those days, one spirit just got into me. I said, I've learned about Screencastify now. Let me to do something on Screencastify. And then I was going here and there, fumbling here and there. Eventually, I was able to do some things. So how can you, I can't imagine that the knowledge that has been impacted 2 or 3 years ago, I can still make use of it. So I want to say thank you, God bless you. And then God will strengthen you to do much more. And please don't relent in any way that you can bring us nearer to technology. Please don't relent to do it. Thank you very much.
Very much. Thank you so much for sharing. That's a testimony that warms my heart. That's a very good testimony that warms my heart. Mr. Moruf, you keep on muting yourself. Thank you very much, Ms. Volusha, for sharing. Thank you. That's very helpful. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So any other thoughts as we wrap up? It's already 1:15 p.m. When we want to close. Okay, all right. Looks like there's none. So this is me inviting everyone on the call today to join our Mr. Moruf. Do you want me to? You keep on muting yourself. So I'm going to send our website. So if you're not part of our community yet, please join our community. Just sign up. There's a course ongoing there. Of course, it's paid for. It's 5,000 if you want to be a part of it. But join even if you can't be a part of it right now, because we are going to be, definitely launching something soon that will help everybody be able to learn on Schoolinka. So just join, sign up as users. And then, of course, when we launch, you will know. So that's the website, schoolinka.com. You can also follow us on social media at Schoolinka. Then you'll be able to access whatever programs we are going on. You receive news about the news. And of course, whatever you learn from this session, feel free to share online on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. I saw Miss Oluwatobi shared at some point, and then we will reshare whatever you post. So please share and let's reshare. That's how you as well are able to establish yourself as a thought leader in the education space. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Ms. Oluwatobi, I can see your hand up. Do you want to share something?
I actually sent a message on the chat, and I don't think you sent it.
Okay, the video shared reminded me of the global nomads. All right, okay, yes. So definitely when it talks with global nomads, hopefully we'll do something soon together, and so educators can be a part of it. Once we want to do something, I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know about that. Yeah, but global nomads is still on, always on. We are doing something soon together though. Yes. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And please have a good rest of the evening or the day. Yeah.